planning for a huge amount of snow at the Jersey Shore here. So I labeled this talk "Getting Prepared is Getting Ready and Having a Plan A, B, and C." So today, what I did was I spent a fair amount of time thinking about, okay, so it's one thing if you're going to get 4 inches of snow. It's another thing if you're going to get like 8 inches. It's another thing if you're going to get 12 inches. It's another thing if you're going to get 24 inches of snow. And it looks like we could hit the 8 to 20, 15 inches of something, right? Some of you in some parts of the world, this is no big deal. You're prepared for this. You live in this on a regular basis. Down here, the Jersey Shore, last time we got like what, 3 or 4 inches. It was nothing. So the first thing, and just take this getting prepared for snow and apply it like for anything, getting prepared for a trip, getting prepared for your business, getting prepared for a workout, right? You could apply the philosophy to any part that you want. So the first part I said was, okay, how can we simplify this when snow kind of comes down and we have a ton of it? What do we do? So first area is like, all right, prepare the property outside, right? And hey, Marcella, how you doing? Prepare the property outside. Where are the garbage pails? Where are the vehicles? How do we make it as efficient as possible when it's time to remove this snow? Where's the snow going to go? So cool thing is we have that house. That's one house over. Huge garage. We put 2 vehicles in there. Problem solved for one thing. I don't know about you, but one of my pet peeves is like, cleaning off vehicles is just, I find that a miserable task. Actually, shoveling snow, moving snow, doing all that, I find that a form of training and exercise. The cleaning off the car with the thing, I just find that like just not a super fun task at all. So we got rid of some vehicles. And then the second thing was like, okay, so now to plow this thing, how do you make it as efficient as possible to plow? Like the vehicles that are left, make sure they're out of the way, make sure you have clear runways. It just happens this is a lot of what I was thinking about today for preparation. Once you kind of prepare something on the outside, you then got to go to the inside. A lot of people have mechanical systems that they don't check. Now, some of you might have high efficiency heating and cooling systems where there's actually intakes that fresh air intakes and stuff that are outside the house that snow comes up and then all of a sudden the system shuts down. So like you want to prepare for that. A lot of homeowners don't prepare. Like when snow comes down, eventually it has to melt. And there's a couple types of problems as a homeowner. The first problem is snow coming down. Is it heavy? Is it going to take down trees? Trees damage homes, trees rip down electrical lines, trees damage what's in the ground. So that's the first thing, like, okay, how protected are we there? Like now we don't have any really trees where we're at. And then the second thing is, okay, when all this melts, a gradual melt is not much of a problem, but an extreme melt is a big problem because all that water has to find its way to another place to move it. This is where on the mechanical system, people don't check their sump pumps and stuff. So definitely check the sump pump, check the mechanical system. For me, I don't want to think about losing power. So what did I do? I simulated a power outage here, make sure the generator kicks on. People kind of just take for granted that these things are going to work. And that's why you can have the plan. The plan B came in, my wife said, well, what about the other house? We don't have a generator on that house. I said, okay, well, we have a plan B on there. If we lose power for a period of time, there's no food that's going to go to waste. It's only heat. It's probably 150 feet, under 200 feet away. We'll just run extension cords over there. We'll get some temporary heat going. Okay, so we already have the plan B to that situation there. And then the other thing is, how do you plan on like, what do you have? Now, everybody already ran out and bought all the eggs. You get that, right? You can't get no eggs and toilet paper and milk because everybody was trained by their loving mom that when a storm comes, you are to get eggs, milk, and bread. Because if you have eggs, milk, and bread, I guess you could live forever on that. So the point is, where in life, where else can you start applying this? Getting prepared is getting ready versus just waiting for it. And I always go back, since owning a service company for so many years, I right away click right in. Like I was hitting up Disney the other day and telling them like, all right, tell everybody in our world, like, do they have the snow shovels? Do they have the plows? Did they redirect the jobs? Did they notify dispatcher? Do they know who can get into work and who not? Like I go right into what I would call gold medal mode because I did it for so many years. This was actually the time where you have to shine. A normal regular day, that's easy shit. When you have 8 or 10 inches of snow and 165 trucks on the road, now that's a serious situation, right? Everybody's got to be prepared for every vehicle, every place, every manpower, and avoid the dangerous things like slipping and crashing and all of that. So that's where I'm sitting here going, man, I got so much to say to people about like how to be ready for tomorrow. A lot of people, it's a weekend, so it's kind of good that it's going. So maybe a lot of companies just they shut down so they don't have to worry about it. For me, the weekend was revenue, right? So we would lose probably could be 80 to maybe 150 grand that weekend, depending on what we're doing. So like we had to make up that revenue and figure out how do we solve that, right? And how do we prepare the customers for what to think about now and prepare about what to think about later. So this applies to anything in life, right? I find out that most people are not getting prepared, so they're not ready, and they're constantly, it's like you're going on a trip and people always plan their trips like, oh, I have something to do, Tuesday, so I'm going to fly out Monday. Well, that's not getting prepared. What's your plan B? Like, what happens if the flight's delayed? Which flights, as you know, I haven't flown in a couple of years now, but from what I hear, flights are nightmares, right? So, like, what is your multiple plans? Now, the old theory was I only have plan A and I'm only going to make plan A work. That was the old school theory. And that really is not a great philosophy. That's called being unprepared philosophy. Having a plan B doesn't mean you failed. It means you were prepared to handle any situation at any time. Hey, what's up, Dave Monk? What is this snow stuff you're talking about? Well, I'm going to just save a whole bunch of it and ship it to you so that you have it. And if you want to know what it feels like, Dave, right now out there, I want you to kind of climb into your freezer and just hang out in there and dump ice cubes. It's feeling pretty wicked out there right now. My wife, the good point is my beautiful wife is very excited about all the snow. And she's like, well, you don't have to shovel it. Get someone to shovel it. I'm like, that's like training, right? I don't have a problem dealing with that, let alone my neighbor has a snowblower and he's in Florida now. So I said, can I use the snowblower? And then I'll take care of his area and my area and the sidewalks and all that. And yeah, it'll be some cool focused training that I'll go through. So where do you have to put in this philosophy of getting prepared is getting ready and having a plan A, a B, and a C? Because no matter, like, here's what I find out for people that live in hurricane, tornado areas, tsunami areas, like they seem to always have one plan and not a multi-layered plan effect. And everything that I've built in life and business and in every area has always had a multi-layered strategic approach to it. And it's all about if this, then what? And you should write that down. It might sound simple. You're probably not going to remember it. But if you just go, if this happens, then what needs to happen? Right. And I used to run those scenarios all the time in my life, especially, when you have a company with a small group of people. I was like, okay, wait a second. I'm going to go to work. And like, if this happens, 2 guys call out, then what has to happen? And some people will say, well, then you're just creating what's going to happen. No. There's a difference between creating because you believe it's the only outcome and being prepared for any outcome, right? It's like, if this, then what do I do next? And you'll find out that when you start thinking this way, you actually start avoiding things and dealing with less anxiety and stress, because a lot of people deal with a lot of anxiety, which anxiety is normally fearing a future that didn't happen yet. Now, you answer this for me in the chat bar. If you have a plan that you're confident with, if something goes wrong, do you fear that future? No, you don't, because you're prepared with a plan. See, when you have a plan, you don't fear the future. It's only when you have internally no plan that you start to go, well, what if I get sick? And what if the car breaks down? And what if this? It's like, if you get sick, you'll take care of yourself. You'll do this. If the car breaks down, you're going to get someone else to take you. If this happens, if there's 4 foot of snow, you will call in reinforcements. And it's like, whenever you do this, and I find that that's one of the biggest things in life today that people are dealing with, is this fear. And you have to understand that fear is predicting a future. You're predicting something that didn't happen. It's like being scared of the boogeyman. Now, maybe if you're so determined it's going to happen, then maybe that fear mechanism can be turned into power and strength and focus, right? Fear is not a bad thing. It's got a very useful vehicle to it, as long as you can control it and leverage it for what it is, instead of having paralysis over what it could be for you. So I hope this is super helpful. Anybody that's in an area that is going to get this, they have some name for it, like massive snow drop or snow grenade or whatever the hell they're calling it, make sure you're safe. Okay. Be super careful. And maybe if you didn't go to bed yet, maybe just make sure you have a little bit of a plan on how you're going to deal with this, and not just wake up in the morning and look out and go, oh man, now I'm going to deal with this stuff. Also, it might be a good thing for a bunch of people. It might actually, those of you in the snow area, might actually keep you in a little bit, make you settle and kind of relax and just maybe focus. Or what are we? We're almost done with the end of January here. So the first month of the year is almost gone, which means you have 11 more months to create magic in 2022. So maybe you'll use this weekend as a little bit of reflection, maybe a little bit of training. I have a project I am laser focused on tackling and just dominating this project that I'm working on. So that's really good. So let's plan, let's leverage this strategy in your life and find a way to implement it. Okay. I love that everybody's here and you listen to this training, but training is only as good as the implementation. The implementation. All right, get to work. Also, for a bunch of you, we have the new group, which I'm hoping you're in. And if you're not in, go in or private message me, or we'll put the link here, which is all about personal growth and mindset mastery. And we have a whole bunch of trainings being put in there. So if you want the free training, go there. We have a contest going right now in there. And this is going to be the #1 place where you can go, and it's free. You could go in there and hang out and help yourself grow to where you want to be, And how many of you would like a little bit more, personal growth? All right, I know you do. I mean, me too. I'm always searching and on a quest for the next level. And how many of you would love to have mindset mastery? Me too, right? You're constantly tackling another deeper level of your mind, so you own your mind and those crazy thoughts don't own you. So make sure you go in that group, say hello to everybody, get engaged in there. I look forward to delivering more massive value there, and I'm excited to spend this time with you. Have a great night. Boom.